In this video, as mentioned in a previous video, I'm going to install 2 replacement air shocks. I have an air leak from my left hand front shock absorber, and that's producing an error, a suspension error on the dashboard. This is a 2010 Land Rover Discovery 4, done about 200,000 k's. So removing the wheel nuts. I often seem to have problems with the chrome covers on these wheel nuts, and it's a 22, but if you go to the next size up 24, it'll spin the cover. So I just seem to have to hammer on a 6-point socket, and then they'll come off. But they're a nuisance. And now to remove the wheel arch liner. To do this, you have to remove the outer trim piece, and then removing a load of plastic clips, you can get the inner arch liner. It's not too bad, but it's fiddly. I found it's necessary to do this for me anyway. It says that you could just push the airline into the top of the shock absorber. That's not what I found. It's you just don't have enough slack unless you take the wheel arch liner out and unclip it from the brackets, and then you can push it in. And now to remove the bottom bolt from the shock absorber. You'll find the wishbone will drop down, but that gives you access and less tension on the top bolts to undo them. And here I'm just drifting out the bolt. Now the top 3 nuts are in quite a tricky spot to get to. It's quite tight up there. You can get to the front 2 easy enough with I used a swivel head ratchet spanner, but the rear one is really quite squeezed in there. You need a small socket and ratchet to get them out. So I think this gives you some idea of how tight it is in there. This is on the other wheel. Before I decided it was better to take the wheel arch liner out. It just give you a little bit more room when you do that. Mine were really quite tight. I think somebody put Loctite on the nuts. Now I'm not sure whether that was done at the factory or not, but it made life harder because they're lock nuts anyway, and then they had a little bit of Loctite on them, so it was a bit of a squeeze. Trying to get the air hose to connect is fiddly, but turns out you got more slack than I thought if you take that off. And obviously you have to take the wheel liner out. What is amazing on this car is it's a 2010. A little bit of debris build up there, but very little, if any. There's no rust, which is awesome. Another thing I've discovered is a split boot on my CV joint. Another job. And here I'm just fiddling with the shock absorber, trying to get it to align. It's not too bad. A bit heavy when you've got to hold the thing up for a long time. You can see here I used a piece of wood, and at the other end of that piece of wood is a trolley jack, and that's to jack up the lower wishbone so you can line up the lower bolt for the shock absorber. That's the only way to do it, really. If you do jack up anything on the front of the car when it's on a two-post lift, it's a good idea to support the rear, and I've done that here with a transmission jack. So again, filmed on the other wheel, you can see I've got the airline in, the 3 top bolts and the lower shock absorber bolt there is in, but not fully tightened. You're supposed to do that when the car's on the ground so you don't get any kind of twist in the bushing. So just putting the wheel liner in. It's fiddly, but you'll get there in the end. Just got to keep persevering, and there's quite a lot of clips to go in to hold it. The front trim, the wheel trim goes on after this, the wheel arch trim goes on after this. That's okay. Hopefully you haven't broken the clips when you take it off, and it kind of hooks, T-piece hooks in at the front, hooks over, and then you do the fasteners up to secure it. So all done. Not a terribly difficult job, really. Much easier than doing coilovers where you've got to compress the spring. A lot safer too. Yeah, so anyway, I've done up the lower bolt on the shock absorber there to the correct torque, and we're good to go. This just shows a few of the tools that I use to do the job. There's quite a few there. Some of them we use more than others. And I didn't get a suspension error when I started the car up, and that's good. So thank you for watching. I hope this inspires somebody else to do the job. It really isn't as difficult as you might think.